Hello, everybody. It's Monday evening. That means it's time for Boropod. I don't know why I'm so chipper. That's not been my day at all. Pat and Nick is here. I'm just going to introduce you together. Hello, boys.
Hi.
That's a great introduction considering we did Wednesday last week, but I like it.
Wednesday is very much not the norm.
No. It threw us all off, to be honest.
Yeah. Did you both have good weekends?
I mean, it was the worst footballing weekend I've had in a long time, thanks to Sheffield Wednesday being the earliest relegated team in EFL history. Just imagine how many bad teams have been over that time, and we've managed to be at least a month worse than everyone. It's absolute grimness.
February is mad early.
It's just horrendous.
You
in my mouth, I think about it.
Sheffield Wednesday owe the EFL 7 points, don't they?
I mean,
I saw it.
Take us down to minus 25. It won't make any difference at this point.
I saw it put that way yesterday. Was it this morning? How do we owe the EFL 7 points? I was like, I appreciate that nonsense. Nick, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. Other than the North London derby made it better for me after Saturday, but just one of those weekends, I guess.
Tell you what, all of those absolute sausages that insist you can't support two teams are going to be having a field day with you two being two club wankers, aren't they?
Fuck them. In the nicest
right.
possible way.
No, I mean, it doesn't even have to be in a nice way. Fuck them. Who the fuck is anybody else? Tell anybody else who to support.
Well, I won't talk about my Italian and Spanish and German teams that I started following during COVID then either.
As long as it's one FC Union Berlin. It's not one FC, is it?
No,
FC Union Berlin.
So funnily enough, and I won't neglect my French team either. Although from that random selection of teams across Europe that I was watching during COVID when they were doing all the free streams, Montpellier got relegated and Schalke got relegated. So I was then left with Sociedad, Roma.
I was hoping a few of them would be obscure teams, but no,
they were obscure. I went. For
I'm sorry. You haven't just described Roma as obscure, have you?
Well, they were meant to be obscure in the sense of I span a wheel, but I span a wheel on top flight. So there's only so far you can go with obscurity with that because they weren't showing the two divisions or whatever they're called during COVID. It was only mainly the top flights.
I did a Football Manager save many moons ago, and I used some online generator thing to decide what I was going to decide. I got it to decide quite a lot of things. So it picked the team I was going to use, the style of football that I was going to try to implement, the formation, and can I tell you, I might have a screenshot of it somewhere. I think I might have a screenshot of it somewhere. One of the formations it wanted me to try to implement had 7 attacking players on the pitch.
That's fun.
We're so desperate not to talk about the Wigan game. We're talking about Nate Salernitana save on Football Manager. Amazing.
And I tell you what, if it wasn't for a couple of really poorly placed red cards, I'd have been promoted that season. Namely in like the last couple of games, I think I had 3 red cards in the last 2 games that just absolutely ruined momentum, and I just missed out on the playoffs, so the promotion, and it was it was a thoroughly enjoyable season, and I started following Union Berlin as a result. Although I don't pay any attention to them anymore. Sorry.
At least Will Steele has killed off that possible idea that if you're good at Football Manager, you can also coach in the real game, because he hasn't exactly been proof of concept, has he?
Also proves that the French league just doesn't count.
Yeah.
I can do it on Football Manager, and I can do it in the French top flight, But
anywhere else,
it doesn't mean that I can make Southampton good.
Amazing.
Anyway, that's 5 minutes of waffle, isn't it? Stephen played Adams Park, another lunchtime kickoff this weekend. We lost 3-1. Should we do a quiz? No, come on, let's talk about it. So, Marshall, Good, Sweeney, Freestone, Houghton, White, Phillips, Early, Pattenden, Phillips, Matty Phillips, and Jamie Reid up top. I'm just going to skip straight to the first goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's probably not much else to talk about up until
Wickham, I think, were comfortably on top. At that point, we hadn't really got going. I think it's fair to say. We hadn't got going. The ball came forward from Philip Marshall. We challenged for, but didn't win the first header. I think Dan Phillips had a swipe at it that sort of went nowhere. The ball got lumped forward over our back line. Dan Sweeney came forward to try and head the ball and completely misjudged the flight and ended up under it. Freestone, as a result, had to scramble and chase down Corley Woodrow, who was through. Philip Marshall was stood sort of between the penalty spot and the edge of his box and just watched the ball go over his head into an empty net. It's about, for a professional footballer who is a forward, who applies his trade up front, it's about as simple a finish as you're going to get, really, isn't it? I think, we've all seen players try to chip goalkeepers and do it appallingly, but as a professional, there's absolutely they have no right to miss in that situation, do they?
It wasn't even really a chip. I mean, the flight was there with the ball.
The bounce was there.
Yeah,
you just need to put a toe on it and make sure he didn't toe and boot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know that you can blame Freestone. Freestone was. I mean, I think probably Sweeney and Freestone were both playing him on when the ball was played. Sweeney stepped up, Freestone stepped up possibly a little bit too far. But you're not going to go into that thinking, I better drop back because Dan Sweeney always misses these headers, which I'm not going to lie, it's not the first time we've seen him misjudge the flight of the ball and end up miles under it, is it? But it's just disappointing. Just disappointing to go down to something like that.
It's just one of those really basic goals when you talk about when you're at youth level of, if you're not going to win the first contact, make sure you win the second contact. And once you don't make the second contact, do you make the third contact? I don't think we made any contact all the way through to that goal.
I think I sent a message to our group. It might have been a tweet, but I think I sent a message saying that there was absolutely no effort for us to win the ball at any phase of that. You can argue that Sweeney was, but he misjudged it so poorly, so I'm just going to say he made no effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time we've been done by a high line either, in that sense. And I think it shows the transition we're in as a side that we probably don't quite have the centre-backs to be playing that high line. I mean, there'll be people that were saying after Saturday, why was Pidge not in there instead? It's like, I don't think Pidge still gets done by a ball over the top. Like, let's not pretend like that doesn't happen. It happened at Barnsley. So, although it is an error and Sweeney probably should deal with it, I think it bounced up in the air 3-4 times before the ball actually went forwards. And we just didn't deal with it at any point.
It was an example as to why Sweeney's found it hard to pin down a starting place in a League One side, because that sort of error happens on a game-by-game basis, right? And if you can't cut those out of your game, and he hasn't shown an ability to do that while he's been with us, that's why you're on the bench more than you're in the starting 11, surely.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been a bit of discourse around Sweeney, isn't there, about the sort of some of the mistakes he is capable of making, and there certainly have been a lot of examples now over the several years he's been with us. I guess, I suppose that the benefit of being in League Two and those happening was that a lot of the players in League Two level weren't maybe fast enough or just weren't good enough probably to capitalise on them. Whereas certainly for a good chunk of the teams in League One, they're of a higher quality and they're going to be far more alert and far more capable of making the most of those opportunities.
I think it is really easy with Sweeney to go, he always makes a mistake, but like he obviously had a mare on Saturday. I think he will admit that as much as anyone watching the game will. But I actually thought, like, bar maybe Freestone, he's been one of our better defenders over the last 2 months. I mean, there's a reason why Pidge hasn't got back into the side regularly.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy, I think, to go, Sweeney makes these errors. He's kind of, the way he plays lends itself to errors because he likes to carry the ball. He likes to play on the edge a little bit, which is why he's a back three centre back and he's not a back two centre back.
But also, I think it's not only that he used to get away with it more because the players in League One weren't quite so good. I think he got away with it more because he made less errors on the ball, or the wayward passes didn't matter so much. When I say wayward passes, I mean like the hopeless balls down the channel that you think, oh, Jamie might go after it and then doesn't because it's overhit. I think there's, but also he'll go for a little dribble. Sometimes he tries to do a little bit too much, doesn't he? And then gets pinched. It didn't happen so much in League One, but again, the standard of play he was trying to do it against was lower. I mean, in reality, the gulf between League One and League Two is pretty big.
I think that's where we're kind of looking at a squad where we do still have those players that probably sit in between that top League Two, bottom League One that we just are going to have because we aren't big enough. We haven't got the money to have a squad full of League One players, and so to an extent, you've got that's got to come with the territory of being where we are. That we're going to get that occasionally, and if he'd have done it week in, week out, and was consistently making mistakes, I think I'd sit there and go, "There's a fundamental issue there." But with the fact that how he's been playing since he came back into the side, when everyone had written him off before January, to be honest,
he's played some blinders, hasn't he?
He has played really well, and so I don't think there's any player in our squad that we couldn't turn around and go, they've made a mistake at some point this season or had a mare of a game. And unfortunately, as a defender, normally when you have a mare of a game, it's much more obvious.
The problem for Sweeney is that a lot of his seem to end up in goals.
Yeah, it's the same with most defenders, to be honest.
I feel like Sweeney's mistakes end up in goals out of a sort of an unnaturally high percentage of the time, and it's not the mistakes, and certainly the mistakes that leads to goals aren't necessarily indicative of him as a player, but it is a reason why we haven't seen him as much as we may have done.
And it generally happens in one game, I feel, for Sweeney. It's not like he has a really good game.
Right?
Yeah. It's not like he has a really good game and he might make a mistake during a really good game. Like with Sweeney, it's either he has an amazing game or he has a terrible one. Very rarely would he have one that sits in the middle.
Such is the life of a League One footballer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's not a guy you don't want. That was a double negative. He's a guy you want around your side because physically he's imposing and his mentality
try telling
is really
telling Nathan Lowe that.
So, yeah.
that child bodied him off the ball.
Yeah, we'll move on from that very quickly.
Sorry about I interrupted you, and that was rude.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So, but anyway, second half. Look, second half.
Well, before we move into second half, the change at about half an hour, where so I assumed Saxon was injured. Yeah, I assumed Saxon was injured. From what I understand now, he is not injured or was not injured. He just walked off the pitch. I assume it was a miscommunication that meant we were going to make a change. Referees obviously told him to go off the pitch.
And he thought that meant, I'm off.
He's gone off the pitch, and we just haven't brought the sub on. But yeah, I mean, firstly, there's that bit, and then there's obviously we made the shape change on with that as well.
Yeah, I mean that is a if that's the case, if that's what's happened, that is a absolutely dumb as shit mistake to happen, isn't it? Because surely, like, eventually, like, Saxon only gets round and someone goes to him, "What the fuck are you doing? You're not coming off."
Yeah. I don't really know. Like, I assumed straight off the bat he must be injured because he's not come back on. But the impression I'm getting is that wasn't the case. But anyway, it seems like we actually shifted while he was still on the pitch into the 4-back when you watch it back.
Yeah.
He moved into left wing. I think it was Phillips. I can't remember which one it was. Went out to the right, and then we had
Phillips did go out right, yeah.
Yeah, and so we initially went like that, and obviously very quickly decided that was silly. Let's change the players. To then take Saxon off on 34, 35 minutes and put Roberts on.
Yeah.
However, to then put Jamie Reid on left wing, Roberts right wing, Matt Phillips up front.
I mean, yeah, look, we spoke about this obviously while it was happening, and we were all a little bit bewildered at what was going on. I personally, no, I still don't hate Jamie Reid going out wide and Matt Phillips through the middle. It's like the way I sort of explained it on Saturday was, I think I like the idea of Phillips winning a ball and laying it off to either a Reid or a Roberts, who are making a cut in from the wings. Obviously, you have to have players that are linking up well and doing that, which we didn't on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fairly obvious from the first half an hour that we had a real problem between the lines, in the sense that because we'd gone with the flat midfield three again and 2 up front, like actually we were sitting a lot deeper as a bank of 3 midfielders, which meant there wasn't really that link into the forwards, and you saw quite often Harvey White basically trying to play these balls over the top, our strikers splitting and trying to get into different areas, and which is obviously what Revs has seen and gone, this isn't working, let's make a change. Whether it needs to be to go to a 4-back or whether it just needed to introduce a 10 into that to be a bit of a link. The bit that I always struggle with when we do those kind of changes that puts Reid out wide, Phillips up front, Roberts on the wing, because we ended up with Dan Phillips in the 10. And actually, one of the biggest problems we had last year was trying to fit round pegs into square holes.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we had Jamie Reid, not a winger, playing on the wing. Roberts, I still don't think he's a winger, but playing on the wing. Matt Phillips, although he probably has a profile that could be a 9, traditionally for the last 15 odd years has been a winger, if not a wing back in certain systems. Yeah. And then Dan Phillips, who isn't a 10. And so while the principle of why we changed that system makes complete sense, when your players are not playing in preferred positions and they're trying to get to grips with what they're doing, Matt Phillips playing as a 9 with a strike partner is very different to a Matt Phillips having to play up on his own and having that responsibility. And I think while we might have got on the ball a lot more, we still didn't really do much in that final third.
We created a lot more in that shape, and we had a lot more shots in that shape. We didn't really create anything before that. Obviously, then early in the second half, we have the free kick, which Harvey very nearly converts from. Was it a post or was it a save? I can't remember now. Post. And then obviously Jamie Reid was alive to it and managed to get on the rebound and whack it in, which I was very happy to see for Jamie. I think that we have been critical about how sometimes he doesn't seem to have that instinct to get on those second balls. And he did it, and it was
just in general. We were asking more players to get in the right areas in those sort of scenarios, so it was good to see that happening, and it was good to see them, restructuring the team, making some changes that got us more on the front foot in the game because, the start was slow and all right. The mistake was what gave the goal away. They held Wickham at arm's length, but they did at least take some steps to address that. And having got level, it was super disappointing to have another really bad individual error or collective error to concede the second. Like, it just undid all of the good work that had been done from the sideline.
Yeah, I mean the sort of what was it, almost 20-minute period after we scored to when they nicked that goal and went and got their noses back in front. I think that we looked the better of the two sides. Again, it was even. Both teams were passing it relatively well. Possession was more or less 50-50, less than 1% in it. So not definitive. Either way, we had a couple more shots than that in that time, a couple more on target. It was only really until Sweeney. I've watched it back over and over again, and have you ever seen a player get his legs in that much of a tangle before? Like, he's got his legs tangled around his own legs. All Nathan Lowe had to do was be there, and he was on his arse. I saw a couple of shouts that it was a foul and a push. Like, give it a fucking, honestly, give it a rest. Sweeney was going. It
looked like a newborn deer on a frozen pond.
And that's like, it happens, right? Like, it happens to people every now and then. They'll you lose your footing or whatever, and next thing you know, you're on your ass, and you're laughing at yourself, make yourself look like a twat. Lowe still had to, get the ball under control, set himself, and finish, and he did it very well. It's just such a shame to have given him that opportunity, because he's not going to get a better opportunity all season, is he?
Yeah, and we know what this team is for Stevenage, right? We are tight at the back, nick the odd goal. We're not that expansive. We're not going to score that many. So if you give away two super cheap goals, especially if you do that away from home against a side like Wickham, who we talked about last week, their home form has been really good. It's just a mountain to overcome that we couldn't, and we never created the chances to give us a chance to get anything from it, which is really disappointing. And the third was just a sucker punch when you're desperately trying to get an equaliser late on.
I think the second goal knocked it out of us, didn't it? And knocked the stuffing out of us. We looked dead on our feet after that. I never want to be accusing players of. I'm certainly not saying anyone down to tools, but heads dropped.
No.
And we just weren't at it from that stage, unfortunately. And then they, for long periods of that late second half after they went in front again, it was just. They were just passing around us in nice, tight triangles through the pitch. And at that stage, there was only one team that looked like they were going to win, and it weren't us.
Yeah.
I think I've come to a position now with our away form, because that's 6 on the bounce away from home.
6
that we've lost.
Yeah.
And the last 3, we've conceded 3 goals, or is it the last 4?
I think it's 4. I think it's 4 in a row that we've conceded 3 away from home.
And I think I don't think we've ever really had the most amazing away form. Like, even in the promotion year, I don't think our away form was that amazing. It's just that we picked up points in games that we probably shouldn't have picked up points in. AKA, I think Walsall away is a prime example.
Well, there are a lot of games in that season where we went away from home and we weren't amazing, but we weren't conceding 3. We were holding teams to what turned out to be relatively surprising draws. We
kept scoring late goals, didn't we?
We came away having scored a lot of late goals, but also coming away feeling like we've sort of done a job on them. We've nicked a point here and there, and it's the last 3 away defeats: Wickham 3-1, Northampton 3-1,
Barnsley 3-1,
Barnsley 3-1, Exeter 3-0.
Yeah.
And before that was Luton 2-1, Cardiff 2-1.
Yeah.
That takes us, and then that takes us back to Boxing Day 0-0 against AFC Wimbledon, who are also not great.
Yeah, so I've come to the conclusion that like away form I've just written off, to be quite honest. Like I'm kind of in that position where we're not showing away form. I think we're struggling to get for any kind of form away from home. I don't think that's going to turn around really easily. We're going to have our Stockports and occasionally like that where we do go and we do perform, and it just seems to be we're making a lot more mistakes on the road than we are at home. What to me that does is just re-emphasizes your home form and ensuring that we continue that run of what we're three on the bounce at home now, in terms of wins, and we don't fall into that trap of what we did, kind of the last month or so where we were drawing a lot of games at home.
Last
we
4
weren't,
months.
yeah, we weren't losing games, but we weren't winning either. And I think that's where my focus is now for the rest of the season is let's make sure we pick up our points at home, and anything we get on the road is a bonus.
Yeah, right. So I mean, look, if we look at our home fixtures versus our away fixtures, right, coming up. Stockport home, Orient home, AFC Wimbledon home, Reading at home, Blackpool at home, Lincoln at home, Barnsley at home, and Wigan at home. It's not the easiest run of fixtures, but you would. I always fancy us to do well against Stockport. It doesn't always happen. We got turned inside out by them last season at their place, didn't we? But this season we won there, and we've won a good number of our games against them. I still think they're a very good side. I think they've underperformed a little bit, which is mad because they're in the top 4 at the moment. I expected them to be right up the top end of the league, really pushing for the autos. It hasn't been the case. But you've got Orient and AFC Wimbledon, 2 teams that are in danger of the drop. You've got Reading visiting, who I don't think anybody in the league are probably looking forward to playing Reading right now. Then you've got Blackpool coming to us. I'd be a bit annoyed if we don't at least, if we don't win, we don't win. As long as the performance is there, if we draw or lose that one and don't perform, that's a real kick in the teeth. Lincoln, they'll win. I've got no doubt about that right this second. Barnsley, if it happens, I think that'll be. I don't know. I could be disappointed. It's fair. It's a fair way away. That's not until the end of April, so it's difficult to say at that stage, isn't it? But our away games: Burton, Plymouth, Bolton, Rotherham, Bradford, Doncaster. To end the season, like it's a slightly more comfortable run. Again, Plymouth are sort of all gone blazing at the moment, aren't they? Bolton are always going to be a tough game, but Rotherham and Doncaster, you'd like to think those will be wins, and then Bradford could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, if you to put it in numbers terms, there's 24 points at home up for grabs, right? We're sitting on 48 now. If you take 18 of those, so you lose 2 games within that, 18 points sticks us on what 64.
Yeah,
like 64. Let's have a look at what last year was. 64 stuck you 10th. Which is probably where most of us would say that's where we're going to finish, is in that kind of 8 to 10 spot.
It would be a reasonable place to finish, considering that mid-season run we didn't have.
Yeah, and so then pick something
that's
up on the road.
A good season for a team on this budget.
Yeah,
incredibly good season. I mean, anything that I said this at the beginning of the season. I said it at the beginning of the previous, and probably the beginning of the previous. Any season in League One we have where we are not fighting against relegation. We're in the stink, Anytime we're not in that battle, we have had a good season. I don't care if we've had a really good run of, however many ridiculous wins in the first 12 games or whatever. 10 wins in the first 12. Don't give a shit. Like you have to, at the end of the season, you have to view it as a season on the whole. It's incredibly disappointing and difficult as a fan on the day-to-day to sit there and be upset and not be upset and and disappointed about the fact that we've let a really great opportunity slip. But we have to remember the size of the club. What we're doing is not usual. Teams with budgets like ours don't often challenge for the playoffs in League One.
I guess that's what that bar is, though, isn't it? Because a good season doesn't mean it's a bad season. It's not great or terrible. There is a middle ground to it, and I feel like we're sitting in that middle ground of
every season we have. There's going to be runs where we're like, fuck, we are actually quite good, and there are going to probably be more runs where we're like, we're all right, and we're shit. It's going to happen because we're in League One. There are no players in League One that have a whole season where they're unbelievable. I mean, there are a few, obviously, but they're very few and far between, and they get paid a lot more than Stevenage can typically afford to do. We just aren't going to have those type of players. I think we have to apply some sense, and we have to keep the club size and the budget in mind when we look at these things. And we can always look at things at Leyton Orient, at Burton, at Luton. Things could always be a damn sight worse.
I do think the latest accounts being published does put a lot into perspective in terms of what we're achieving, where we are. I mean, we're still classified as a small business first and foremost because our revenue isn't high enough.
Because we've got 4 employees.
We actually are like triple the threshold for employees, but our revenue, our turnover is below. But I mean, you're talking about Wallace being a very, very good owner, and we're still losing 1.3 million a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been making money most seasons up until last and this, right?
Yeah. So, and
so
that's not
to make money in League 2 with the absolute shower of shit that we were is absolutely no small feat.
Yeah. And so we're in a position where we are making losses now as a club. And that's good in football terms at the moment. When you compare it to other clubs, that's one of the best positions.
Still 7 million less than Burton.
Yeah, and so when you put it,
you're right, but it's horrible to hear it.
Yes, but when you put it into that perspective of we're in that bracket of League One clubs where you probably say we are quite a regular now. We've settled in as a League One team, and you're only making £1 million losses a year. Compared to the teams at the bottom that are making triple, quadruple, 8 times, 10 times that kind of loss.
Yeah.
Lincoln are up in second, great, but their wages are 99% of the revenue they're taking in.
Yeah.
Like, that's not healthy.
That's asking for Exeter kind of trouble.
Yeah, so it's difficult because you always want your team to be high flyers, competing in every front. When you see those kind of numbers come through, when you know the kind of owner we've got, you do just have to sit back a little bit and go, bit of perspective.
Yeah. And that's not an excuse for not owning your individual errors and looking for self-improvement.
No,
that's just like a general background of just think we're 8th with what we've got, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Also, it's still wild that we are in the top 10 with that massive run of form we've had. It shows how good the start of the season is. I just can't move on from it, frankly. It is insane. See that since the 4th of October when we beat Luton, we have only in the league won once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times since the 4th of October. Do you know how many days ago that is?
And losing to Wickham, we're still a point ahead of them with a game in hand, even after losing to Wickham.
And we still have 2 points. Yep. We still have 2 games in hand over Huddersfield, who are 2 points above us. 3 points above us. 4. Oh, is it 4 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're talking about getting to 64 points, but you pick up a few more points on the road, and you end up in the 70s, and suddenly you are on the cusp of playoff positions. Especially this season with how teams around that last playoff spot are being.
I think the club that finishes club that finishes in the last playoff position this season will have 10 points less than whoever it was last season. I would be amazed if it wasn't a easier task to get in this season.
Yeah, so
just because teams are making more of a hash of it this season.
I mean, let's have a look at last year. Leyton Orient got in with 78 points.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, 67 points.
Currently, Huddersfield
if that doesn't make it.
Yeah, Huddersfield are in there with 52. With 10, they've got 12 games remaining, and they're on 52 in the last playoff spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be. It's not going to happen. That playoff spot is going to be far more attainable. Right, I'm going to do a quiz because we've sort of danced around Wickham, but no one wants to stay there, do they?
No.
I didn't even go in the end.
No, I know you didn't. You decided to go on a jolly to the airport instead.
I also realised that I haven't seen us win away since March 25, and I thought I'd sacrifice myself in the hope that we might actually win away from home, but no.
Well done.
Turns out it's not you that's the jinx.
Yeah, stop me. I can go to the next one.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Apologies if this is you and I've completely forgotten who you are. I saw someone say that a little while ago they went on a run of quite a number of away games and they didn't see us score for something like 15 months or something. I can't remember exactly what the tweet was, but they went away quite a number of times and didn't even see us. I maybe not score, but they didn't see us win or something for a very long time.
I know Robbie tweeted something along those lines.
Yeah, Robbie's not seen us score for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the quiz. Names on the team sheet.
Oh.
Stevenage versus Stockport, 2-1, 6th of August, 2022.
Oh, Christ. All right, let me think. What? So
you're going to take it.
Okay.
You're going to take it in turns to name a player on the team sheet or a player in the squad. You get 3 points if a player started. You get 2 points if they came off of the bench. You get 1 point if you mention them and they didn't come on, and you also get a bonus point if the player you named happens to have scored. And obviously, I'm going to put it out there for the pedants. You get no points if you mention someone who wasn't on the team sheet.
I would like to apologise to Pat in advance because I actually think I've looked at this incredibly recently when I was looking through how many times we'd played different formations in the playoff in that promotion year. So,
well, we'll see, won't we?
Well,
so we'll start with Pat, considering you think you know the fucking 11. Patrick, open us up with a doozy.
You've got to start off with the most obvious goal scorer in Jamie Reid, given that scoring that you just ran us down.
There you go. So you get 2 points. He started on the bench, but he did score. Scored the winner in the 95th minute. So you get 3 points, Patrick. Good start. You've got one of the two available bonus points. Nicholas, can you get the other?
Jordan Roberts.
Jordan Roberts did start. He didn't score. So that is 3 points. Pat.
Man, Jordan Roberts was going to be my next guess.
He was the reason I was looking for the formation.
Let's get a banker.
If you said someone then, I didn't hear it.
I said, let's go Pidge then. Let's get a banker.
Oh, I heard...
Which wasn't rhyming slang. That was just an attempt at an obvious right answer.
I heard let's get a banker. I didn't hear let's go Pidge. Okay, yeah, but yes, 3 points. Shoe in.
Thank you.
Nicholas.
Luther James Wilden.
Luther did play. 6-all, Patrick.
All right. Do we stick with bankers or do we try and gamble? Let's gamble. Fuck it. Luke Norris.
Patrick, you get the 3 points and the second bonus point because he opened the Stevenage scoring on the 88th minute with a penalty.
I've got to remember who we said. Tay Ashby-Hammond.
Tay Ashby-Hammond did start between the sticks. So it's 10-9 to Patrick on account of his 2 bonus points.
Yeah, I couldn't get the goal score anymore, so I might as well take the keeper done.
Yeah.
This feels very rugby union in the scoring at the moment. Van Cooen.
TVC did indeed play. Nick?
Dan Sweeney.
That's our centre-back sorted. 13-12 to bat. Patrick, you are up.
Yeah, I'm thinking Jake Reeves.
Reevesy, that beautiful, beautiful man. Nicholas?
Max Clark.
Max Clark is a great shout. And that's our back line full. That's
Done.
to Patrick.
I hesitated on which Jake to go for. So I'm just going to go Jake Taylor because then I've picked both.
Both did play. Congratulations.
Came off the bench though, didn't they?
No, he didn't. He started that game.
Right. So we've done the keeper back 5. We've done the 2 midfield. We've done the 10. We've done one of the strikers that started. Who's the other striker that started?
We haven't we've done both of the strikers that started, to give you a clue.
I thought you said Reedy came on.
Yeah. Norris and Roberts started up front together.
Oh, I don't remember him doing that.
They did that a few times.
In that case, no, I'm questioning. He was with us. Yeah, he was with us. Gilby.
Not even on the bench.
Oh, what?
He didn't join that early in the summer, I think. I think he came in after a couple of games, didn't he? I believe, at least.
I couldn't remember.
So we've had our first whiff. Patrick. There is one
Dean
more.
Campbell?
You've got 2 points there. He did play, did come on. He replaced Jake Reeves.
Who are our midfielders?
So there is a clue that I can give you for it, but I think it gives it away. It's too obvious.
Things I have names in my head of players we played in that system, but I can't remember if they were with us that early.
Okay, here, look, I'm going to give you a clue. About this isn't actually. I don't think this is the game I thought it was. It might be. Hang on. We used.
This might be a clue. It might be an absolute red herring. We've got no way.
No. So it is a clue in as much as it might reveal some context about the game, which will help you get an answer. It might not be the starting answer that Nick obviously wants. I mean, we used 6 substitutes for the first time in this game.
Yeah, just beyond that core team, we just had offcuts basically for the rest of the squad. I'm gonna go with it, and I can't remember if he had joined us at this point, but I know he was playing for us that season. So Michael Bostwick.
Yeah, it is Michael Bostwick. Yeah, I can't remember if it is this game, but there was a game where Pidge absolutely poleaxed Bozzy, and he had to come off, and because of the concussion sub, we got to use 6 subs. I can't remember if it is that fixture, but whoever it is that got subbed off in this game, there was a concussion sub, so we got to use 6 substitutes, and we did them all. And I remember there being an awful lot in confusion around the ground and at Opta, who were like, "Hang on, you've given me 6 here," and I'm like, "Yes, concussion. We get 6 now."
Who was it that? Because I know Murphy Cooper knocked someone out. That was Luther.
A different season.
Yeah, but wasn't there someone else?
That was the shoulder in the chin. It was
shoulder
Butler,
in the chin.
But didn't Pidge do another one?
Pidge killed 2 people.
Yeah,
2
and one of them was Wilding
that season. It may have been. He certainly was Bozzy.
Yeah,
absolutely laid him out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, we were all amazed that Bozzy could be laid out, because I thought it was just a.
He happened to meet the only player capable of it in that second.
The beard just absorbs all the force and then gives it back twofold.
Yes, but that is your 11 locked in. We've had 2 of the subs, Dean Campbell and Jamie Reed, both courtesy of Patrick. So we're looking for. There are 5 other players.
Well,
5?
Yeah, 5 other players on the bench because you can take 7.
Okay. Fine, yeah. No, I was thinking of ones that played.
No, there's only one player
that did
in
play.
in this 18 that didn't play. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder
Well,
what
Nick said
position
earlier
they
while
were.
he was deliberating, which got me thinking that was Saxon Early's loan period. So he is my next name.
Saxon Early replaced Max Clark.
Yeah.
Scores are 23-18 at the moment.
Danny Rose.
Daniel Rose, he did replace Jordan Roberts. 23-20.
I think this was before Kane Smith went to the darts. So let's go Kane Smith.
It is before Kane Smith went to the darts. It was long before. He didn't do that until like halfway through the season. Yes, 2 points on the board. He replaced Luther.
So, replace one of those.
The last 2 names, I wouldn't be surprised if after 4 goes, neither of you get either of them.
So our backup keeper that year.
We had about 12 of them.
Who was the backup at the start of that year? Oh, that would have been. Oh, maybe no. I'm going to go with it. That was Christian Hagee.
Incorrect.
Oh, mate.
I'll tell
Was he
you
with
who
us
it
that
was.
year? If it's the other one, I think it is that Pat's going to say. I'm going to be fuming.
It was a guy because we all expected him to start when they signed him because Tay was on loan, wasn't he? And Nate took an irrational dislike to him, which turned out to be a rational dislike, which doesn't narrow it down.
Yes, no,
dislike
you were spot on. I couldn't stat. He played. I think he played once for us in the Pizza Cup, and I instantly hated him.
Yep, Aaron Chapman.
Correct.
Of course. The 6'8" giant, or whatever he was.
Did he go to Scunthorpe?
He went to many places after that.
Yeah, I think we let him go to Scunthorpe. But he
I put him in the fucking chat the other day.
he did. Yeah, even when we kept having to sign emergency goalkeepers, he couldn't play because if we played him, then we wouldn't be allowed to get an emergency goalkeeper.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So that's the keeper. So basically, what, 2 left?
1.
Oh,
so
1 left.
You've lost, but I'm going to make you answer it anyway.
Can this be for like extra bonus points or something?
I tell you what, if you can get it, you can have a bonus point.
Is this because you're going to look at it and go, no way, like I can get this?
Maybe.
Is it Slim Pickens?
Maybe.
Oh, I'm trying to remember if he was the year after, so that's not him. No, we signed him in League One. Never mind. I was going to so because these aren't right. I'm pretty sure they're not right. I was originally going to go Finley Burns, but then I realised that was
a year later.
Yeah, and then I was going to go with Alex McDonald, and I remember that was a year later.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was. Fucking hell. It's midfielder, isn't it?
It is a midfielder. Yeah, he came on to replace Michael Boswick, and then I'm fairly certain before the end of the window left on loan.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
And then in the January that loan deal was made permanent.
Right, that's completely thrown me off. Who did we have that we got rid of from the year before?
I think Pat might have him.
You can go for it if he wants to. I ain't getting it.
I'll give you another clue. He was a ginger.
Do you want to let me guess first? Yeah, it is. Oh! Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna let you guess.
I think I love him.
Obviously not that much.
Arthur Reed.
It was Arthur Reed.
I thought he was the season before, and
that's why he wasn't even.
I was like,
that's why he wasn't even in my mind because I don't even consider him part of that promotion team.
Yeah,
But
I was going to go
look,
Foster
I
Kasky.
loved him as well. I was so sad to see him go.
Stokowski joined us that January.
Oh shit!
Stokowski at this stage was out with a recovering from his
Of course
19th
he was.
cruciate ligament injury.
I want him back just so that he can come on. And I can't remember what game it was when we wore the blue shirts last year, and he came on, and his first touch, he whipped a cross in from a free kick, and we scored, and it was just amazing. I think it might have been I can't remember who scored it. One of the centre backs scored it, I think.
I've
But
no
that
idea
was a
which
great
one.
day.
Times.
I'm going to find it now. Well, you
So
guys.
anyway,
waffle.
yeah, congratulations, Patrick. You win yet another quiz. Your
was a good
your record of like, I don't know, at this stage is probably about 400 wins and 12 losses or some shit.
Yeah, to provide context as to why I was so certain of the back line, was because my check was to find out how many times we played three centre backs. Because in most cases, if we were playing
We
three
used
centre backs,
a lot of formations that season.
Yeah.
A lot.
well, we did, but most of them had narrow players up front. So because I was
Yes.
trying to figure out how many times Roberts played like as a striker or a 10 in that season, because he was unreal that year. And then since
he was unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, and then since we've
played-
come up and we started to move him around,
He played on the left of the two with Norris or Reed a lot.
yeah, or he played when we did the diamond, he played in the 10 behind
Yeah.
the strikers.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was doing some great analysis of why Roberts' numbers have dropped off so much. And I'm
Okay.
convinced it's because he's out wide.
I'm convinced it's because he's in a league that's more difficult than it was when he was playing, and his numbers are amazing.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Sticking through the middle, we will get a better Jordan Roberts. I'm convinced of it. What was his numbers when he... His numbers, he got 5 goals, 5 assists in his first in the first season back in League One, and then since we moved him out wide, he's only got 4 goals, 1 assist, and currently 2 goals, 1 assist. So he's halved his return since moving out wide in this league.
Since coming up there, he's always been out wide.
Not always.
And we've got wide midfielders.
Okay, not always. He has
no one apart from Kemp to play a 10.
Yeah.
So it
So
makes
his
more
numbers
sense now than it ever did.
So his numbers dropped off because we started moving out wide.
He's had less than a handful of games through
That's
the middle in League One.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man, his numbers are down massively. I'm convinced of it.
I just don't think. I don't think it's solely that he's been out wide. I think it's obviously not going to help. But I think a bigger reason is because he's playing against far better defenders. The wing backs in League One are so superior to wing backs in League Two.
I will die on this sword, just as I will die on the sword of Jordan Houghton, even if he plays like crap.
Let's have a look at what happened around the league this past Saturday. Plymouth went to Cardiff and won 5-2.
Wild.
Rotherham lost 2-1 at home against Doncaster. Wickham beat Stevenage 2-1 at home. Stockport County beat 9-man Wigan 4-2. Port Vale drew with Reading. Good result for Port Vale, that. Bolton drew 2-2 with Blackpool. Huddersfield beat Barnsley 2-1. Luton beat Burton. Drew 1-1 with Burton. Mansfield lost 2-0 at home against Lincoln City. Northampton lost 2-1 at home against Leyton Orient. Peterborough drew 3-3 at home with Exeter. And AFC Wimbledon beat Bradford 3-1 at home. I was going to take the piss out of Northampton losing at home against Leyton Orient, and then I realised we've got them in a couple of weeks, so I didn't.
Keep your powder dry.
The league table, Port Vale are relegated, obviously. Rotherham are in 23rd on 31 points. Northampton and Wigan round out the relegation places on 34 points each. Then you have Burton and Leyton Orient on 36 points. Blackpool are on 37 points and 18th. Doncaster in 17th and 39 points. Mansfield also in 39 points and 16th. Barnsley in 15th and 41. Exeter on 41 in 14th. Then you have AFC Wimbledon on 42 points. Peterborough in 12th on 45 points. Plymouth and Luton both have 46 points. They're 11th and 10th respectively. Then you have Wycombe Wanderers on 47 points in 9th. Then you have Stevenage in 8th on 48 points, level on points, but four worse off in goal difference than Reading in 7th. Huddersfield are in the final playoff position of 6th with 52 points. Bradford and Stockport and Bolton will take the rest of those playoff spots, 55, 56 and 58 points. Then Lincoln are 10 clear of Bolton and only 1 point off Cardiff at the top of the pile on 69 points. Both of them have a positive goal difference of 28. There's not another team that has goal difference better than 12.
Yeah, good job getting an up-to-date table as well. That's harder than you'd think.
Who scored has let me down on many occasions. Namely, was it last season when Reading and Wigan had points deductions and it didn't tell me what the points deductions was on a regular basis. So sometimes you just have Wigan like in 10th when actually they were 20th.
Now, I wish points deductions didn't exist. Although they'd still be bottom thinking about it.
Coming up in League One this week, we have three Tuesday night ties in Northampton, Port Vale, Bradford, Rotherham, and Burton, Stockport County. Then on Saturday, we have 2 lunchtime kickoffs. Northampton host Peterborough in the most boring rivalry known to man. And then you've got Leyton Orient and Barnsley. That is not a rivalry.
In the Red Bastards derby.
In the rest, yes, I like that. In the Red Bastards derby. Hopefully, no one turns the sprinklers on in Leyton Orient, or the Barnsley fans might get antsy. Then at 3 o'clock, you've got Lincoln, Blackpool, Mansfield, AFC Wimbledon, Port Vale, Luton. That is a fucking horrible game. Port Vale, Luton. Fuck me.
In Burslem as well.
Imagine the
In
head loss.
Burslem. Fuck a duck.
The head loss from the Luton fans after they conceded that injury time equaliser.
Oh, how beautiful.
The double head loss if they don't beat Port Vale.
Oh God.
Juicy.
I can't wait to see the scenes. Oh, that is delicious. Then you've got Reading, Bradford, Rotherham, Plymouth, Stevenage, Stockport County, Wigan, Huddersfield, Wycombe Wanderers, Burton Albion, Doncaster Rovers, Cardiff City, Exeter City, and Bolton Wanderers, rounding out all of the shit of League One.
I know what bet I'm putting on this weekend then.
You are putting on Port Vale to win.
Andre Gray to score, ex-Watford against Luton. Oh my God, that would be incredible.
Oh, imagine if it's in the 85th minute or beyond.
Oh, please, please.
Oh, I will take everything I've ever said negative about Andre Gray back if he scores against Luton. That would be diabolically hilarious. Delicious. Right, Stevenage versus Stockport County. Let's have a look, shall we?
Oh, goody.
Yeah. So out of the last 6 games, we've got several wins. A 3-1 win at their place in December. 2-1 win last season at home. 2-1 win the season before at home. We've just spoken about that one.
We've never lost at home to them. We've always won.
There's always Saturday.
They're pretty good away from home this season.
They're pretty
7
good.
wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. I mean, yeah, pretty good, full stop. They did just lose 1-0 and draw 0-0 in their last 2, Bradford and Leyton Orient. But yeah, tonked Wigan, albeit some of the goals were late and they were playing a reduced outfit. But yeah, they look pretty formidable. It's going to take a repeat of what we did against Huddersfield. We're going to need to show that level of quality to get a win out of this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not feeling amazingly positive about this. I think it'll be a decent enough game. I think the games against Stockport, aside from when they give us a pumping, are usually pretty entertaining. One thing I do worry about is their weaknesses, where they're a little bit susceptible to conceding from balls played in from wide. We're not any good at that.
They've got a very good midfield pairing. I mean,
Norwood
is probably the best player in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he's there or thereabouts. He's certainly up there. There's plenty of fans that would disagree with you, but everyone is allowed to be wrong. Carl Wotton's still, 49 and again 29. He's still pretty good. He's scoring plenty. 17 goals.
I think he's top goal scorer in the league.
Top goal scorer. Brad Hills and Ethan Pye, very good defenders. Jack Diamond, excellent football player. It's. I don't want to sound so disheartened and sort of downbeat about it. I do think looking at it, we've got an outside chance. I don't like that they've got Louis Barry back.
I think you've got to look at, albeit their away form looks fairly good. Actually, some of the teams they have dropped points. I mean, they went to Northampton 0-0. They lost at Reading. Who else? They lost at Peterborough 3-0 in November. So they do have their hiccups.
But also, it's November, and you can't really look at that as an indication of anything.
No, but you can often see that like a team like Cardiff have been fairly consistent. They haven't. I think the Plymouth game is probably the first proper hiccup of this year in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Whereas Stockport, I think, is one of those sides where they are a very, very good side, but they are prone to that odd game.
They are prone to the sort of they're susceptible to the odd wobble of a game here and there, where you just don't expect them to not get a result, and they surprise you. They absolutely have lost games you wouldn't expect them to have lost. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even with the table looking the way it does. I would have said they'll beat Bradford. Even with 10 men, I think I'd have put money on them to beat Orient, and they didn't. They're just a very, very solid outfit. They've got a lot of very good players, and they've got a very good manager. One thing that we have seen on a fairly regular basis is when we play these teams that are going to have a lot of the ball. Sure, we dig in, but we are quite good at surprising them and hitting them and having a go at them. So there is light at the end of that particular tunnel. It shouldn't be all doom and gloom at all, because I think there is a genuine chance that they come down and they're surprised yet again that they haven't beaten us. I mean, I think Stockport fans seem to be surprised that they don't beat everyone they play.
Well, they teams do struggle when they come to our place, especially when they're a team that like to try and play football. And part of that's because the pitch is quite tight. Yeah. And so it does lend to... That's why we actually struggle against those teams like Bradford when they come to our place, because they play very similar to us. And so the pitch and the way that we play suits Bradford in the same way that it suits us when we go there, and we can always put on a decent enough show. Yeah. So that there's always that, as long as we're playing into the strengths of what we've got and the nature of our pitch, knowing how they're going to play, we can do like what we did against Huddersfield, like quite simply. That's why our home form has notoriously been so good, because it's not a standard pitch that you see in League One. It's tiny, it's narrow. If you want to try and play football on it, good luck getting any time on the ball.
Especially with Dan Phillips in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to rattle some Mancunian heads, isn't he?
He's going straight for it.
Just like calling the Mancunian, Will. Jesus. They're lynched outside the ground.
I mean, they are in the greater metropolitan area. They're basically Mancunian. Yeah. No, my mum's friend is from Stockport, and she would probably punch me in the face for saying that. Which is part of the reason why you say it, of course.
Oh yeah.
Any news from around football? Oh, Pat, actually, tell us about the Stevenage ladies, Stevenage FC women's.
thought I'd check in on how that was going, and it was nothing to do with Fiona heckling me for a month to actually do it. Yeah, they are comfortably top of the league, riding very high, 41 points from 15 games, 13 wins, 2 draws, no losses, 61 scored, 10 conceded. Hell of a record, Jesus. So yeah, riding very high with a few games to go. Royston are second, 9 points back. Well, they do have a game in hand. And then Dussindale, 3 points behind Royston, but they've played 5 more games than Royston and 4 more games than Stevenage. So it looks like another 2-horse race, depending on how the running goes. And I've timed this with the next 3 fixtures being away from home. Bowers and Pitsea in the Cup. They are 6th in the league. And then away to Watford in the league, away to Dussindale in the league. So the next home game is against second place currently Royston Town, 22nd of March at the Hertford FA County Ground. So if you want to go along, 2:00, get your teeth into that. What will be a juicy promotion deciding tie.
I think we made another County Cup final yesterday as well, didn't we? Beating Royston. So we're on for the treble.
Right. Harpenden Town on the 12th of April. 2:30 kickoff at the Hertfordshire County Ground in Letchworth.
It's nice though one of our teams, well, 2 of our teams can get good cup runs.
Yeah.
Under 18s and our women's.
Yes, I'm not going to say any more about that. Just talk about a little bit of sort of general football news. Something that was quite amusing over the weekend was Kings Lynn. They are under investigation for supposedly putting the sprinklers on an already saturated pitch to get their match called off.
Who would possibly do that?
Who would do such? Who would do such a thing? Honestly, do you know what I did like? The sprinklers being on before Huddersfield after Barnsley was cancelled.
Oh, I loved it.
The second I sat down and I just looked up and the sprinklers were on and I was like, this is
poetic.
I couldn't help but send a picture out and I couldn't help but tweet it and just have a little giggle at.
It can't help Saxony's poor quads, can it? Having the sprinklers on that pitch. Poor dude's knackered running through sticky clay for 90 minutes, 100 minutes.
Definitely. It certainly wouldn't have helped him now. But yeah, I mean, look, I would feel sympathy for the Barnsley fans if they weren't absolute dribblers who thought it was us doing it deliberately, rather than the referee who makes the decision and had to delay making the decision because Barnsley weren't fucking here. She can't make the decision before they turn up.
Is that why it was so late? I did wonder.
That's why it was so late. Yeah, she was there at 5:30, which is about the same time the normal time for officials to appear, 2 and a bit hours before kickoff. Completely normal. Perhaps you could suggest, given the circumstances, perhaps she might have got there a bit earlier.
It just needs an official, doesn't it, as well? It doesn't need to be the entire staff.
I think it does have to be because
I thought it had to be.
I
thought it had to be an official.
But for both, there has to be one official from each team, and then the full officials EFL team. But the game doesn't get called off before the ref has spoken to somebody at the EFL. And again, before they can do that, they have to speak. They have to discuss it with both clubs. It's kind of fast. So
it wasn't anything we could have foreseen either. It was a very short period of torrential rain.
It rained so heavily between 5 and 6. God,
I read somewhere that over like a 2-hour window, Stevenage had that region of the country had more rain than it had in the past 3 days, 4 days combined, and it had rained pretty much non-stop.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise.
It was flooded all over.
Yeah, it's not a surprise that a game might get called off because, almost a week's worth of rain has fallen in 2 fucking hours.
I think we'd had the FA Youth Cup game as well, so the pitch had been worn in a little bit. And so it was mostly the goal mouths that was the problem. It wasn't like the whole pitch was flooded. It was
just not bouncing in the corners either.
Yeah,
like...
it was corners and goal mouths, which, you know, what can you do?
Nothing, quite clearly. Nothing. Although, you know, Barnsley expects us to have like state-of-the-art everything so that they don't get fucking...
If it was down to our sprinklers, they also flooded Roaring Meg's car park, so there must be fucking powerful sprinklers.
Yeah, pretty fucking good. Another story from around football, just because I've just seen it and it's quite funny. A goalkeeper in Turkey hit a seagull with a goal kick. The bird appeared to die instantly, and then a player went over and performed CPR and brought it back to life and saved the bird's life. That's a fun story, isn't it?
And speaking of miracles, Dino's got a new job.
Hey!
Pray tell.
He's where is he? Barrow.
That's true.
With our nice, lovely
right. He's in
forward,
Barrow, isn't he?
Joe Van Malcolm.
Yeah.
He's going to teach him all he knows.
We come back in.
Look, I'm just not. I'm not gonna even fucking comment on it. We all know how I feel about Dino. That's that.
Danny Rose and Joe Van.
Like a man suited to a town, to be fair.
Yeah.
The windiest town in the UK gets the windiest manager in the UK. Shocker.
Oh god.
And that's about as polite as I've ever been about Dino Marmaria. That's about as polite as it's going to get. Yeah, anyway, so that'll do us for the week, I think. Have I missed anything? Is there any other business?
Nope.
Nah.
No. Cool. All right, then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy Saturday coming up. It should be, well, hopefully it'll be a laugh. It might not. Hopefully the grounds packs, they've done loads of vouchers, haven't they? Yeah. Anyway, full of kids screaming at the referee. What every football fan loves to hear. Up the Borough.
Woo! That's a surprisingly positive woo, considering I didn't know the